CBN declares Abokifx boss wanted over Naira collapse. The Central Bank of Nigeria on Friday vowed to arrest the owner Olumide Oniwinde and shut down popular forex publishing platform Abokifx. Abokifx is a platform known for publishing the exchange rate of Naira against other currencies. It began operations in 2015. The CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, who spoke after the Monetary Policy Committee's two-day meeting in Abuja, described the platform as illegal, accusing it of putting the Nigerian economy at risk. Mr. Emefiele accused Mr. Oniwinde of manipulating the exchange rate, as if Nigerian banks don't do the same. I have given instructions to experts to go after his website and let it be clear that we will go after him because we can't allow this to continue, he said. Mr. Emefiele also challenged Mr. Oniwinde to make himself available at the CBN headquarters in Abuja. That is the story of Abokifx, and I hear he's making news on social media. I am not on social media, but let him come and meet me in the central bank. Let him come and show his face. Those who feel they want to support him to fight me, come out, let's fight. He said, why violence? Who's fighting you? Why are you feeling threatened? I mean, I guess this just shows he understands the impending aggression and pushback from Nigerians when he decides to stop Abokifx, because Nigerians absolutely consume the services of this site. That's it. This barely comes 24 hours after a report that the CBN was making efforts to shut down the platform. This was contained in a letter it sent to commercial banks requesting transaction records of the website over an alleged breach of the National Intelligence Committee Act of 2004. Nigerian media outlets, including People's Gazette, have relied heavily on Abokifx in recent weeks to publish frequent and steep crashing of the Naira against the American dollar and the so-called black markets. Cool. Of course, again, it's not like as if, the CBN actually wants to do this because they care about the Nigerian people. Definitely not. That is literally not why they want to do this. Why would they do that? Of course, it ruins the market for them because Nigerians do not. Yes, money would flow in the economy, but it's highly unlikely that with Nigerians' money, it would go through the banks. Because the same way they are blaming Abokifx of rigging the prices and establishing their own prices, is the same way the banks do the same thing, which also made Nigerians decide, you know what, we're not going to the banks. And Abokifx created that gap. I'll fill that gap in that market where Nigerians are like, you know what, we will go to Abokifx. Abokifx is absolutely very, 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 very popular. And so I don't understand the how Mr. Emefiele is getting very like, oh, there has to be some violence and fight. Come and fight me. Like who? No one wants to fight. You see, these are the ways in which they try to inject violence and then say that it wasn't them. Like why? Who brought fighting into this? Why are you feeling like you're going to be fought? I don't understand. So it's very shady because now you're blaming Abokifx over the collapse of the Naira. Like, how? No, how? This now even questions why you are even in that CBN position. Like, it question, like, do you do economics? Like, are you just, because you're saying the sole crash and collapse of Nigeria is because of Abokifx. Are you serious? Because if we ask you to give accounts over the last year, I wanted to say 10 years, over the last year, if it asks you to give accounts of transactions of just politicians alone, with the printing of money, or what would that tell us? No, what would that tell us? And I highly doubt that Abokifx will be running such a platform where they would not be paying taxes. 1000%, they are online. They will be paying hell of taxes. 100%. 100%. So all this, I don't understand. Again, it's definitely, it's self-motivated for their own benefit, the politicians' benefit, definitely not for the people. Because if it was for the people, then Abokifx is doing their job. The people want Abokifx to still be up and running, but no. Somebody says, one thing is certain, it is either Abokifx or Aboki Nassau Rock is responsible for the free fall of our dear Naira, which Aboki is responsible. We will never know. Can you imagine such nonsense? A whole Nigeria is being rubbished by this set of people. So Nigeria Army, DSS, NIA don't debt of cyber security. This is shameful. So tiny. Abokifx is coordinating currency and manipulation in a $500 billion economy. You are not serious in that Abuja. This is simple. The more you borrow, the more your currency lose power because you don't have enough exporting capacity, productivity to revive the dying economy. It is as simple as that. The country is not industrialized. We don't pay. It's like to put it in simple terms, there is so much inflow and less outflow. That is it. The inflow of the country totally overpowers the outflow of the country. It's as simple as that. And then to think that they borrow money, but then we don't even see where this money, because again, if they're borrowing money where, okay, fine, they borrow money, they print out so much that is not even it. Because listen, how are we sure the money they're printing? Because the amount of money they're printing, technically, it should be enough to go around all of Nigeria. We have politicians printing billions of naira in cash. In cash. Now, can we say that 200 million Nigerians have access to 10,000 naira each cash? Can we say that? Why I'm saying this is because during COVID, I heard this from H1T. He said that for the sharing of palliatives, they were like, you know what, let's send to bank accounts because it's easier, this whole of lining up and all that. That was the process they wanted to go through, okay? And then they looked at how many Nigerians had BVN, because if you have BVN, it means you have a bank account. And they found out that only 50 million Nigerians had BVN. Only 50 million. So it now means the rest, which is literally what? The 75% of the population. I mean, let's not even talk about the North and those that are IDPs and all that. They don't have bank accounts. They don't have cash in their name. So it's like they are printing money, and it's not even as if the money is flowing around the country fully. It's not. It is flowing around that small section of politicians. Does that make sense? Put what you think about this, and don't forget to like and subscribe.